All right, we're here for the third episode of CoinTalk. We got Crypto Jiggy again. Last episode, it was actually fun to have you here. What did you think about it? Was it good?
You know, I saw it back and it was amazing. I was really happy about the outcome and I'm really glad to be here.
Yeah, no. Oh, well, we asked a lot of questions. We asked your thoughts when it came to XRP reaching $10,000.
Yeah.
You agreed. I feel like that's the best first question to start off with for
Absolutely.
everybody.
Yes,
you know what I mean? And we'll do that again when there's another guest that jumps in. But I have a question for you. Not a question, but more like, did you know?
Okay.
Did you know that XRP surpassed Bitcoin in 2018?
You know, based on the last podcast we had, I had to go back in time and give myself a history lesson. And yes, it did in market cap, which is insane to even think about. So going back to what you said last time, you are pretty spot on what can potentially happen in the future with XRP surpassing Bitcoin, which is very interesting. Yeah. Now, how do you feel about it? And honestly, and I know you personally, I know you like being right and correct. So this is the time to shine right now. So how do you feel about it?
Well, it feels good because I'm an XRP maxi, I would say.
Yep.
Right. I love XRP. I believe XRP can reach $10,000. Right. So when we look back at history, a lot of people kind of look over the fact that XRP did surpass Bitcoin in 2018.
Yeah, they do.
And the thing is, you have to look at history to look at what's going to happen in the future.
This is true.
Right. And a lot of times things repeat themselves. So when people say there's no way that, XRP can replace Bitcoin again, let's look back at 2018 when XRP did surpass Bitcoin. Right. So when I'm saying XRP could pass Bitcoin in 2030, right, it already did it back in 2018. So it can definitely do it again, regarding to history. Yeah. So I think that's a fun fact that I think a lot of Bitcoin holders should know, just people in general that hold crypto.
Absolutely.
Right. And hate on XRP.
Yeah.
I think it's something good for them to know that, XRP did replace Bitcoin at one point.
I think what people need to understand too is that when we speak, we justify with facts. So the fact of the matter that you spoke about it and then ran it back and it was a fact that it had already happened feels really good. I'm sorry, it's an ego boost. We all have ego, but it's a really great ego boost to say that it already happened. So why can't that happen again? Why can't XRP surpass Bitcoin when it already happened? So.
Exactly. Now, for the second, did you know?
Yeah.
Or maybe just a question, but did you know about the XRP zero knowledge proof?
I did. I heard rumors about it. And it makes me really excited, especially now because of the way the world is working. When you think about cryptocurrency and the blockchain, it's just a game of telephone, right? Where everybody kind of just knows what's going on. You're telling a friend until it gets to the destination. But now, if I'm not mistaken, the whole zero knowledge thing is very discreet. It's the way cryptocurrency was designed to be. So with these cross-border payments, I think it makes everything more effective. Now, can there be contingencies with this? Absolutely. But how do you feel about it?
All right. So the way I look at the XRP zero knowledge proof is now XRP allows privacy. It allows private transactions, which is massive in the times that we're in right now when we talk about the war with Iran. Right now, what this zero knowledge proof does for XRP, it allows it to be basically hide the transactions, but it kind of it proves how much it's actually worth or what's actually happening, but without showing the data for the transaction, which is massive.
Yes.
Right. And a lot of people are not talking about that when it comes to XRP right now. No one's talking about the things that XRP is actually doing.
True.
Right. So now that gets a different side of big money excited. Right? Big money that kind of wants to go, undercover, hide their money in a private way, but also be a little bit centralized. It's giving people an option, right? And that's I think the XRP zero knowledge proof is going to, pour in trillions of dollars with just that alone.
Yeah, I agree with you. Back to the Trump administration, the family, right? Eric Trump went on an interview and he really hates banks. This is the reason why they're pro crypto. He explained a story on how he went to a golf course, and it might have been his father's golf course, and his card got declined. And they were like, he was like, why? I don't understand. They're like, well, we don't understand this transaction. You never made it. And he's like, why does it matter? So having this taking place with XRP is massive, like you said, especially for big money. Exactly. So big money is going to be highly attractive to this asset that's going to be a part of XRP.
Exactly. And now when you bring up the Trump family, I want to give you an example right, of how the XRP zero proof knowledge works, right? Okay. Where it's like, how do you know if, the Trump family is buying in, right? This gives them a way to buy in without people even realizing it, right? This gives big money a way to get in and hide it from the public, right? Because if the public know, they're going to inside trade.
Well, I wouldn't be, sorry to cut you off, but I wouldn't be surprised. As everybody knows, Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, has an incredible relationship with the Trump administration. Now, he hasn't made a lot of noise in the White House lately. In the beginning, before Trump got elected, Brad Garlinghouse was there right beside him. Now he's kind of not in the picture anymore, as far as we don't see him in the headlines anymore next to the Trump administration or with Trump, but conversations are definitely being had right now. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump was talking about this right now, especially with everything going on.
I wouldn't be surprised if Trump shows up to XRP Las Vegas.
Ooh, when is that again?
Damn, I gotta look at the date.
Okay.
Put me on the spot.
No, I'm sorry.
What is that again? I'm like, man, I gotta look at the date.
Well, Bitcoins is right now, and
it's April. I think it's right now. I think it's like XRP might be right after.
It might be.
But that's still a big thing.
Do you see them trolling Bitcoin right now?
What, XRP?
Yeah.
Ripple?
Yeah, Ripple.
Hey, you got to play the game.
Dude, they literally have digital billboards with XRP and Ripple like all over the hotels in Las Vegas right now, just clowning Bitcoin right now. But those two always had some kind of beef.
Well, the thing is that Bitcoin doesn't really, I just feel like it's not really a store of value. Gold just proved it was a real store of value through this entire war with Iran.
That's true.
Right? Bitcoin has done nothing but go down. And now it's verified, like I said in the last podcast, that Iran isn't accepting Bitcoin for passage through the Strait of Hormuz. That's interesting. Right. Yeah. So it's like, I don't see the value there. But now, last time, right, when I said, I don't think it's XRP, it could definitely be XRP now that XRP is offering those private transactions.
It's kind of moving like Monero or Zcash.
Exactly. But it's giving that option.
Yes.
So look at all the things that have happened, right?
Yes.
Now we have XRP going the quantum resistant route. We have XRP going live on Solana. We have XRP being tradable on WhatsApp.
Yep.
We have the zero proof knowledge for XRP. Like, there are so many things happening for XRP that builds the foundation for a $10,000 price tag in 2030. That's why I try to get people to understand. Now, when we look at XRP Las Vegas and we talk about the Trump family and stuff like that, I wouldn't be surprised. If Trump is there, right?
Yeah.
And does speak. And if Trump is there at XRP Las Vegas, that would be massive for XRP holders. Like, that's a big thing. And I do think there are things happening behind the scenes with Trump and XRP. I do believe that. I believe that I don't know if people know this, but Elon Musk is trying to build a payment system on X.
Yes, he is.
And it would make sense if it is XRP.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of things are pointing in the direction of XRP. So a $10,000 XRP in 2030 doesn't sound crazy when you start adding all the facts.
Let me ask you this. How much would XRP go up if Trump went to the XRP conference in Las Vegas? Because what people need to start seeing and realizing is that we might start seeing a rise before he even makes a speech at that event, at that conference. If you look at the charts, and it usually happens a couple hours before then.
Listen, if Trump does speak, we could definitely see XRP rise to like $2, $2.30 possibly.
Which is massive. Yeah.
So if Trump does show up to XRP Las Vegas and does speak, right, we could see XRP reach $2.30. That would be a massive move up. So if you're not buying right now at this price tag, it's like, guys, what are you doing? Honestly.
Well, everybody knows the slogan. You got to buy the rumor, and
100%.
Guys, this is the rumor.
Now let me get to the next question, or not the next question, but just the next topic, right? So exchanges like BitTrue are offering staking for XRP. What's your thoughts about that?
I'm not sure about it. I think it's more of a negative than a positive. How do you feel about it?
I agree. I think it is a massively negative thing for XRP holders. I think it's a trap that these exchanges are trying to do, right? I think if you lock up and stake your XRP and XRP's price rises to $1,000, $2,000, and your XRP is staked on that exchange, right? There goes your XRP. You lose your XRP forever. Plus, you can't sell your XRP at that point in time.
Yeah.
So that has to be the biggest warning that I just want to give out to people. It's like, do not stake your XRP on these exchanges.
It's like playing the devil's game at that point. You just got to give him, it's basically you're giving your cards to the devil and he's just like, I'm holding you in the trap. So I agree with you 100,000%.
You cannot stake your XRP on these exchanges that can go under overnight. Once they go under, they're walking away with your XRP. You lose your XRP forever, and it's just not good for you. And I think that's the game.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why are you offering this staking for XRP right now? Is it because you see what XRP is doing? Do you see how XRP is leading up to $10,000 in 2030? Right? Is that the reason why you're trying to take this this XRP right now? Because when you got to look at it that way.
Absolutely.
When exchanges start offering staking. So, well, I mean, that's a big thing.
It's a form of manipulation too. Because the offer sounds really sexy until it's not.
100%.
And you have to season those words right in business, because how are you going to make that money?
100%.
You know what I mean? So, exactly. I give him a lot of credit for marketing it. You're making it sound really attractive. But in all reality, when you break it down, I'm not too sure.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. You can't. You just can't do it. Now, real quick, I want to move over to this. This was actually fun right here.
Okay.
If you invested $100,000 5 years ago into Ethereum, it would be worth $85,000 today.
Okay.
Now, if you would invested $100,000 5 years ago into Nvidia, that $100,000 would be worth $1.4 million. That is insane.
That's a massive difference.
That is a massive. That tells you how big AI is, and I love how they compare it to crypto.
Yes,
Ethereum. But that kind of goes with what we've been saying.
Absolutely.
Ethereum is dead.
Yeah.
Ethereum is going to zero.
Yeah.
No one uses Ethereum. No one is on MetaMask anymore. No one's buying meme coins on Ethereum. Ethereum is dead.
I feel like they're having internal issues, if you really think about it.
Listen, if you hold it, do you hold Ethereum?
Not anymore.
But if I sold it. If anyone holds Ethereum, I feel bad for you. I sold all my Ethereum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I sold all of it. It's just a dead coin.
It had a good run. It had a good run.
It did have a good run.
I like Solana's ecosystem way better.
But agree. Now, but why do you think Nvidia just outperformed everything?
Well, you have to understand that Jensen Huang, remember when I told you last podcast that good things happen slow?
Yes.
That's what happened with this. He started off with chips for video games, and it became way bigger than it was. He saw a vision. He made it happen. He shook the right hands. And that's what exactly happened. This is what we're seeing right now, and it's going to be absolutely massive.
Exactly.
It's the largest company in the whole entire world for a reason.
Yep.
So Nvidia has always known that it's going to be a long-term game, where Ethereum, you weren't sure.
Yeah.
And with Solana coming in the picture, at first you're like, oh, is it competition? But no, Solana moves way faster than Ethereum.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. XRP moves faster than both.
Yeah, they do.
So it's just, but you know what's crazy? Did you know that Hbar is actually partnered with Nvidia?
Wow.
Yeah. Did you know that?
No, you just told me and I'm shocked, but that's crazy.
So Hbar is partnered with Nvidia, right? The largest company in the entire world. So think about that when it comes to thinking about Hbar, where Hbar could go, right? This is why I'm so bullish on Hbar. This is why I think Hbar could be number 3, right? It could be, number 1, XRP. Number 2, what was it again? It was XRP. It was, I'll go.
LCX?
No, you know what? Number 1, XRP. Number 2, I'll say Solana. It makes sense. And number 3, I would go with Hbar.
That's your top 3 right now.
Yeah, I would say that.
The Hbar and Nvidia integration is going to be massive due to the fact that, well, it makes sense, right? Because Hbar is not on blockchain, it's on Hashcash, right? What was it? Hashgraph. I'm sorry, Hashgraph.
It has Hashgraph technology. There's nothing like it in the entire
So it's
space.
more discrete. Am I right or wrong?
No, it's more centralized.
Centralized, I'm sorry. Which protects Nvidia, especially from China.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's the protection right there. Like, that's a strong foundation. So everybody's like really looking into the AI and crypto integration, but the Hbar integration is massive, but Tau is also massive too.
Exactly. I want to go into Tau, but real quick, I want to play a game with you.
Sure.
All right, like we did the last time.
All right,
that
I'm down for it.
Went pretty viral on TikTok.
Did it really?
Yeah, it did pretty well.
Okay.
So this is called buy, sell, and trade.
Okay.
Right? Those are your options.
Okay.
To buy it, to sell it, and to trade it.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw out some coins and you tell me if you're gonna buy it, sell it, and trade it.
Okay.
All right. XRP.
Buy.
All right. Solana.
Buy.
Bitcoin.
Trade.
Tau.
Buy.
Hype.
Trade.
Pump.
Trade.
Did I say Tau already?
Yep.
XLM.
So.
You're selling XLM?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm thinking Quant.
Buy.
Zcash.
Trade.
Monero.
Buy.
All right. Cool. All
yeah.
right. Let's hear it. Throw it back. Matter of fact, Ethereum.
So. I mean, you have to. I already sold it.
I already sold it. All right, go ahead.
All right. Bitcoin.
Sell.
XRP.
Buy.
Solana.
Trade.
Pump.
Buy.
Hype.
Buy.
Zcash.
Buy.
Monero.
Buy.
Really?
Yep.
Tau.
Sell.
What?
I'm not bullish on it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Ethereum again.
Sell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't.
I already sold it already, but you know what I mean?
Ethereum's going to 0.
I'm just like, back at you.
Yeah, no, they're good. All right. That was I mean, I love those games. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah,
all right, so
it makes you think.
On to this question.
Okay.
Right? Or did you know?
All right.
So I was going on like X and stuff like that, and I seen that Google signed a classified AI deal with the Pentagon. What do you think about that?
It makes sense. Do you see what Palantir did?
No, go ahead. Explain.
Allegedly, Palantir was utilized for specific targets that have been hit. So with Google being integrated with the Pentagon, it makes sense. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But what do you think now that Google signed a classified deal with the Pentagon? What do you think the Pentagon is going to be using Google for? And could it be using it for other things?
I mean, the obvious is personal information, which is vital. They're going to say it's for terrorist organizations and stuff like that. And they're gonna want to know Google Maps. They're gonna want to know locations, so they need those satellites to make sure that the locations are more accurate for missions and whatnot. It's the Pentagon, so you know what I mean. So they're gonna use it. I'm pretty sure the CIA is gonna use it heavy. They're probably utilizing it already. You know, I think they already been integrated together with Google, and they're just solidifying it publicly.
It's just like, okay, well, now we can just announce it, even though we've already been utilizing Google for years now, but we'll just, you know, announce it now.
All right, so Google is basically the UFOs being revealed. It's like, this is the AI, this is not the AI space, it's a tech space that you guys been conspiring about this whole time. Yeah, it's there. This is the space world. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, we've been talking with UFOs.
Wow. Yeah.
This administration is all about everything being revealed, so it makes sense.
Exactly. And I think it goes to what we said earlier, where now you have the FBI coming out and saying that they want to work closely with Bitcoin communities, crypto communities, as if they never were already doing that. But you said that yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is crazy, right? What do you think about the FBI coming out and saying they want to work closely with Bitcoin and crypto communities?
Well, they already have been, like we've been saying. You know, look at everybody getting arrested right now. So look at what happened with the Malone guy, right? The FBI kicked down the door. He did a little bit of time, but now he has to do community service. What's community service? Well, you're smart. You know this space. So if you want to be free, you got to work with us so we can understand this space. Capture the enemy, don't kill them, make them work for you.
That's good.
Well, look what happened with, all right, so back, if you want history, back in World War II, right? We took German engineers and brought them to America. So if you just think about that, that's happening right now with crypto. So it's not like if you can't beat them, join them. It's more like we want to know and extract your knowledge, and in compensation, your life.
Wow, that's crazy.
Whether it's time or your life.
Wow. So it's just they're just collecting people from the crypto space to utilize to basically do the dirty work.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Even the CIA, I met hackers before. When I was a barber, I met a hacker. He got arrested. He was hacking something with the White House or something. He got caught. CIA offered him a job. He took the time. This is a true story.
He took the time instead of the job?
Yes.
Why?
He had his morals.
Oh, God.
He was really into what he did. And I don't know what he did. He was very broad about it, but it's the same concept.
Okay.
They caught him and they offered him a job for $200,000 a year.
Damn, that's good.
Yeah, and he didn't take it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Wow. True story.
Yeah, that's actually crazy. But yeah, but you know, going back, I do agree that the FBI has been already working with Bitcoin communities and crypto communities. You know, so another like it's you're announcing it.
Yeah.
But it's already been happening for years now. Right. So, but just seeing it being announced now, it's like, all right, guys, like they're telling you they're here. You know what I mean? What more do you need to know? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a big thing. Now going into that, did you see that the US government is collecting donations to help pay off its $39 trillion debt? Did you see that?
It doesn't surprise me. And this is on a way broader scale, right? But I'm going to give you an example on a smaller scale. I'm from Connecticut. I just went back to Connecticut, and they have a tax right now to help firefighters. So instead of people willingly, donating to the firefighters, there's some specific tax. I forgot for what exactly. And I don't know if it's the town or the whole state of Connecticut that is going to this firefighter fund in Connecticut.
Wow.
So that's a smaller scale. right?
Okay.
So now, like, obviously it was 30 something trillion dollars worth of debt. This is a broader scale. Yeah. So it's very interesting, but it does not surprise me that this is happening. It's been happening on a smaller scale this whole entire time. And it kind of, I mean, it sucks. You know what I mean? Why do I have to pay for your F-ups? But
no,
it's
but
just
the
the way
fact,
it
but
works.
the fact that the U.S. basically came out and said, "Hey, look, we're taking donations. If you guys want to pay and help us pay down this $39 trillion debt, we're taking donations." Is crazy.
Yeah.
Like the website's up and everything. You can, if you're one of those people that want to help the U.S. government pay their donations, it's you can.
It's
which
either
is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's either, well, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing that helps. It's either they tax us, like I said, which is different. I'm sorry, or the donations is going to come from big money that made a lot of profit during this administration as a tax write-off.
Yeah.
So be careful when it's like donation.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be surprised if Elon Musk, Jensen Huang, Gates, they need to pay taxes. You understand? And they don't want to. So in order for them to have write-offs, it's like a game of hot potato. So when you're saying donations, that's charitable. So they're gonna try to get a tax write-off off of it. So just be prepared to see some of that kind of like, I mean, 30 trillion is a lot of money.
But they'll but the thing is this, they'll also use those bigger people, right, as marketing to get kind of retail to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So now you have your everyday 9-to-5 worker sitting back home going, oh, I want to pay, I want to feel important. I want to feel like I'm doing something for the U.S. government, for the American people. I'm going to get up, right, and I'm going to take my check that I work very hard for, and I'm going to go help pay down this U.S., this debt, this $39 trillion debt, just to feel like I have importance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which I think is just, it is freaking crazy.
Yeah.
That retail is most likely going to do that. Yeah. But like you said, it's going to be used as a way to basically break free from these taxes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It goes back to the other podcasts that you're watching. There's the elites and then there's everyone else.
Yep. I agree.
And this is a prime example of it.
Yeah. There's the people with big money, and everyone else is just retail.
Yep.
There's no middle class, right? There's nothing else. It's just everyone else, and there's the elites that control everything. And as we get poorer, they just continue to get richer.
Yeah.
That's it. That's really it. Now, did you see that Western Union is now launching a Solana-based stablecoin next month? Western Union. I'll say it again one more time, real quick. Yeah. Western Union is launching a Solana-based stablecoin next month. And you know what? You know what happened this month?
What happened?
XRP went live on Solana.
Yep.
Right? So isn't it interesting that now Western Union is like, oh yeah, we feel comfortable now to launch a US-based stablecoin on Solana?
Well, yeah, Western Union needed to do something like that. And, kudos to them, because I've utilized Western Union before when I had a clothing brand and I had to send money to my distributor out of Pakistan, and it had to be from Western Union and they had the fees and stuff. So companies like Western Union, Amscot, other companies that do cross-border payments, it was no surprise that they stepped into the crypto world, because it's either you go with it or you lose it. You know what I mean? So if you can't beat them, join them, Yeah. So it's a big move. I wouldn't be surprised if XRP is included with that as a bridge.
Yeah, I agree. That's why they had to go live with Solana, right? A month before. Everything's starting to kind of make sense when it comes to the way that XRP is moving and the way Solana is moving and how these big companies are now trying to build Solana-based stablecoins, right? Like everything is starting to come together and make sense. Now, I do want to go back because we were talking about the FBI, we were talking about, like the government, everything.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on the shooting that happened at the White House, right?
Yeah.
Just a couple days ago. What do you think about that? Trump again, another assassination attempt.
Yeah.
Isn't that like what do you think about that?
It's crazy to think about, like him surviving 2 times. It's very gangsterish, I think what's more entertaining is like the news after it, because no one paid attention to exactly what happened before until, after this happened. Now, I'm glad he's alive. You don't want that to happen again, You don't want like a Charlie Kirk situation, or regardless of what people do, whatever side you're on, I feel like that's not okay. You know what I mean? So going into that, it was chaotic. It looked chaotic. I saw the clip. It looked very confused. They had a mentalist there trying to reveal a child's name or something like that. I think it was a U.S. Secretary of the White House, the person I forgot her name right now. But he was doing something. There was a lot of confusion in that space. But man, it's kind of sad to see that we live in that type of society. But they're trying to Abraham Lincoln this guy. You know what I mean? And how do you feel about it?
According to ex-CIA member Larry Thompson, right? He's saying it was all planned. This is a false flag, right? This is a planned an attack, right? Because when you look at the video, when everybody's too calm for what's happening.
Yeah.
And how does someone just run past Secret Services? How do they just get past the CIA? Right? Like, how does this even make sense? You know what I mean? Like, it just, and this is an ex-CIA member, Larry Thompson, that basically revealed that. This is the same CIA member that also revealed that Trump almost dropped a nuclear bomb on Iran. And everyone had to basically tell him to stand down, which is crazy, right?
Yeah.
You had generals storming out of there, which actually was verified.
Wow.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
This is the same source of information.
Did you see there was a clip of a news reporter that was at that meeting? What was it again? The White House Correspondents.
Yeah.
Was there. She was explaining the situation, and that somebody's husband was like, hey, you're doing an incredible job, but you need to watch out. And as soon as she was describing it, it got cut off of Fox News.
Yep.
Like there was a gap. And then the guy was like, oh, things like this happen. Ironically, it's just clear as day. If you watch it, it's like, oh, there's too much cell phone service and all this stuff. Like these news stations have to have some type of system or satellites to make sure that they get their word across.
What was the one thing that helped Trump win against Biden? Right? It was that assassination attempt. Right? That whole picture with his fist up,
yeah,
right? Surviving that assassination attempt with the American flag behind him, right? That is what allowed him to win presidency, right? Now they could be running the same script for him to win the midterms, right? Let's do another second assassination attempt, right? That worked the first time. Right, that's what allowed him to win against Biden. Let's do it again. Let's do it a second time, and let's see what the response is. Let's get everyone off the topic of what's happening in Iran. Right, they know we're losing. Right, they know that Iran isn't budging. They know that we're losing against Iran. Right, we got to do something to shift the narrative, to shift the perspective. Right, and that's just another way to shift the perspective.
You know what? I mean, I respect what you're saying, because you're not wrong, and we're going into midterms.
Allegedly, conspiracies.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
We are going into midterms. You know what I mean? So, but it is interesting too. Like Alex Jones, you know who Alex Jones is, right?
Yeah,
big conspiracy theorist. Well, he confirmed that this wasn't staged. So I don't know. And he's usually, I'm not saying he's always right. There's a lot of controversy by him. I like him a lot because, I'm a big fan of Joe Rogan. I see him on his podcast and stuff. I don't watch everything that he says, But, he did say, hey, this wasn't staged. So I'm not sure. Alex Jones.
Oh, Alex Jones said it wasn't staged?
That's what he said.
I don't know.
That's what he said.
I mean, there's even theories out right now that the person that was trying to assassinate Trump was a time traveler. As crazy as that sounds. Yeah, there was a tweet of somebody that works at NASA. They tweeted the name of the person that was trying to assassinate Trump. And they tweeted that back in 2023. Just his name. That's been going absolutely
Well,
viral.
you know what? How ironic is it that UFOs is trying to be revealed right now and an assassination? I don't freaking know at this point.
I think it's just a lot of information in different directions that's just trying to get everyone confused.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Now, I know this is a topic you said that you had a conversation about last night that you feel really confident in.
Yep.
The UAE is leaving OPEC, the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries. Right. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a smart move. I think they're trying to step away because they're on that side of the Gulf out there and they really want to be independent. I think this is actually a move against Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? Like, hey, listen, we're good on our own, which they are separate entities. But people need to understand that UAE and Saudi Arabia always has been competitive against each other. Yeah. So this is going to be a big ego competition. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's surprising because, they're getting a lot of damage from everything going on during this war. So maybe, I don't know how this works, right? But maybe they have insurance companies that cover all those things that are being damaged. They're going to take that and build something way more massive than we are thinking about right now.
Yeah. Now, let me go over why this is crazy, right? Because the UAE leaving OPEC is now, it's going to have no limits on oil production, right? And when there's no limits on oil production, you're going to have millions of barrels, of oil just entering the market. Yes. Now, what is that going to do for the market if you have millions of barrels of oil, right, not capped, just entering the market?
It's a lot of things up.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right? It's going to mess a lot of things up. A lot of things are going to go bad if that happens. So,
who do you think is going to obtain all those barrels? Who do you think is going to control all of those barrels?
I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it. We agreed not to say it.
Yeah.
I ain't even going to say it. Yeah. I can't say that.
No, I got you.
I won't say that. But
that's the real question.
Yeah. Can't talk about them. But kind of going back to crypto. Right?
Yes.
We're going through the government, everything. Let's go back to crypto real quick. May, we're coming up on May right now, right? Or is it May already? No, we're coming up on May, right? What is your Bitcoin price prediction for May?
What are we at, like 76 right now? 76,
yeah, we're at like 76,000 right now.
For May, I could see it touching 80, 81, 82 again.
You think it's going to bounce up back to like $80,000?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well,
what about you?
For my Bitcoin price prediction for May, I believe Bitcoin's going to go down to $50,000, possibly $45,000.
Wow.
Yeah, I think, this war with Iran is going to continue. I think it's going to have a negative impact on Bitcoin's price. And we're going to see Bitcoin's price go down to, $45,000 or possibly $50,000.
Yeah.
And if that happens, we're also going to see, XRP's price also get affected as well.
Absolutely.
Right. So now I go into what's your XRP price prediction for May?
I feel like XRP is going to reach about $2.50 to $3. And I'm gonna be different from you. I'm gonna be different from you. I truly feel that.
Well, say it real quick. Say it clearer real quick. What's your price prediction for XRP in May?
$2.50 to $3.
Wow. Okay. Why?
The reason why is, I'm going to say this. This war, in my opinion, is holding up the volatility right now. What we need to really start talking about right now is what happens after the war. I feel that if this war ends, we're going to go into a huge bear market, and people don't understand that. So when people say war makes money, yeah, it is right now. Unfortunately, lives are being lost. and it sucks. You know what I mean? But when it comes to the markets, they really rely on this specific war. This is why we're seeing a lot of volatility, and people are utilizing retail as exit liquidity. That's why it's a dangerous game to leverage trade. You know what I mean? So what we need to watch out for is that once this war is over, what's really going to happen?
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. So you're saying XRP's price could reach like $2.50 to $3?
Yeah, and you got to remember the conference is coming soon. What if that announcement does happen?
But what if it doesn't?
That's the risk that we're all willing to take, right? I think it's going to happen.
Okay. I mean, I think it could possibly happen too. Now, if I had to give my price prediction for XRP for May, I would say possibly below $1.
Below $1.
I think around 85 cents we could see XRP's price in the month of May. Yeah.
Why is that?
Because if Bitcoin trails back to 45.50, it's going to bring the rest of the market down, right?
When do you think the bounce back is going to happen?
I don't think the bounce back is going to happen until next year or until this war with Iran is officially over, right? We have Trump. Trump is
so opposite.
Exactly.
Okay.
I do disagree with what you're saying.
Okay.
Right? I don't see May as it being bullish.
Okay.
As much as you do.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of like, I see it as bearish because this war is still going on.
Yeah.
Right. And I also think what could possibly happen, that could fit your scenario where we see the price go up, is if Trump just backs out of the war. If he just backs out of the war himself and just admits defeat, which I don't think that's going to happen. But if it does happen, then we could see the prices start to go back up. But if we're still grinding through this war, we could definitely see Bitcoin's price go down to 45. We could see XRP's price go down to 85 or possibly 75 cents. Yeah, exactly. It could be bad.
Well, I think it's time to save your money, because if that happens, you better build your bag if that happens.
I mean, those are levels, those are levels I'm going to be buying at.
Absolutely.
Now, in terms of Hbar's price, are you bullish on Hbar?
I'm getting to it. I like what you're saying.
Okay. I
hold some Hbar, but I know with it being integrated with the ISO 222, and now you're saying this is new news to me. So obviously I'm going to buy a bag in Hbar, the integration with Google. Nvidia. I'm sorry. It's already happened, right?
Yeah.
So I think I see a lot of positive things. I don't have a specific price point for it right now, but what do you think Hbar's price is going to be moving forward?
So I believe Hbar's price, it's at 8 cents right now. I think Hbar could definitely reach $5 to $10 by 2030.
Wow.
That's massive growth right
that's
there.
That's a big jump right
from
there.
8 cents all the way to $5 to $10 by 2030 will be massive. I think it could definitely happen. It could even go higher than that, I think.
Wow.
You got to remember, it's the only coin using hash graph technology. Right, it's not using blockchain technology, so it's just hitting a different market than blockchain can. It's more centralized. It just makes it easier for big money to get into.
True.
So that's kind of my Hbar price prediction. But all right, I have a last question for you. This will be the last question.
Okay.
What do you think is a good business right now for any young entrepreneur to start up?
100%. This is a great question that nobody is talking about right now. And it's not what you think. But you need to start looking into companies from the baby boomer area. So like barbershops, which I got invested into, laundromats, like things that got passed on. Because what's happening is that generation obtained those companies and their children do not want them anymore.
Okay.
So if you're a doctor, if you have a service company, a laundromat, something of that nature, this is the perfect time, because the parents of the kids that do not want these companies anymore want to retire and live their life, especially right now more than ever. So you're going to get those companies with the clientele at a huge discount.
Yeah.
A massive discount. You can buy a lot of those companies. There's a website right now called Biz Buy Sell that you can look at all of these companies from the baby boomer business. I mean, baby boomer era, that they're just going to get rid of it as a discount with the clientele. It's like free money.
Okay.
So in my opinion, that's the type of businesses that people should start looking into right now.
Yeah, I think, I think that's good what you said. I would say that the big thing, if a young entrepreneur, 18 to 25 years old, I mean, even if you're 30 years old, you could definitely do this. But if you're 18 to 25 and you want to make $200,000 to $300,000 a year,
Yep.
Start cleaning garbages. Start going to people's houses, start cleaning their trash bins, start cleaning their recycle bins. And I would charge, $30 per house, right?
Yeah.
So if you charge $30 per house and you do 20 houses a day, let's do that, right?
Okay, let's do the math.
Let's do 30, right?
Yep.
$30, 20 houses a day. That's $600 a day.
Okay.
All right. Now we times that by 4. Let's see how much we're making in a month. Right? Wait, no, my bad. We got to do, so it's $600 a day, times that by 30. That's like $18,000 a month.
Times it by 12.
Now let's times that by 12. You're making $216,000 a year.
Cleaning garbages,
and you're only 18 to 25 years old. Now, like, you could be 30 years old and you could do this, and it's simple, right?
I'm about to go to everybody's house that has a garden hose right now.
Start cleaning garbages. Clean them trash bins.
I'm up in there. Here's a bonus one. Trades. Plumbing and electricians. Plumbers and electricians are going to make a killing. F going to college, in my opinion. Sorry. Unless you want to be a doctor, or maybe just a doctor. Because AI might be taking over accountants and lawyers, if you really think about it. But with AI, you're going to need electricity, and you're going to need someone to cool down the electricity. Mm-hmm. And we're looking at a 20-year span. So we're thinking long term. If you take the time to go into trade school, or like in Connecticut, we have tech schools where you can learn that trade and make money off rip leaving high school, which I regret not doing. Well, I'm a millionaire now, so, I made a good mistake, but still, you know what I mean? Yeah, but it's still like a way, if you just want to make money and you don't care how to make money besides the garbage industry now, but like if you want a trade, which is going to be efficient when you own a home too, electricians and plumbers.
Yeah, makes sense.
18 to 25, like years old, do that.
Makes sense. And is there any last things you want to say to everybody watching?
Yeah, buy the dips.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. All right. Buy the dips. If there's anything you've learned from this entire episode, make sure you prepare for what's coming, and grab them dips up. Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank everybody for watching CoinTalk episode 3. Thank you, Jiggy, for joining.
Thank you for having me.
As always.
Appreciate you.
Let's cook.